Rev up your engines!
Caden Sanford. Scotty, what do you think about BMW's M3 3.2-liter straight-six engine? Well, those were pretty bulletproof engines. BMW always made good engines. It was the electronics in the later days that made them nonsense cars. Now, when I was a young mechanic in the 60s, BMW, in the United States at least, sold four-cylinder cars. And they lasted a long time. They were pretty bulletproof. They were strong little cars. But then they became more yuppie and rich people's cars, and they started making 6s and 8s and even V12 engines. The late model Rolls Royces with V12s, those were BMW V12 engines in those things. The six-cylinder engines were very strong, well-built engines. They could last a really long time. There was nothing wrong with those engines. It was the rest of the cars, as they got more complex and more plastic involved in them, that had problems, not the engines themselves. Novel the 7 says, Scotty, I'm planning on buying an Infiniti FX35. Is it a good choice? Okay, if you like the way they drive and how they handle, you don't mind spending that kind of money, go right ahead. My advice with those is never buy an old used one with a lot of miles, because as they age, Infinitis can become endless money pits. Their transmissions, their electronics, their air conditioning systems, they're notorious for breaking down. But if you buy a brand new one and you don't mind spending that kind of money, you like driving it, go right ahead. Just realize that you're going to sell that thing. If you're the type of guy that gets another car every 6 years or 8 years, you're going to lose your shirt when you sell it, because the resale value plummets as they age. But if you don't mind paying that kind of money, you like the way they drive, go right ahead. It's your money. Ruben Cano says, I got a 2002 Volvo V70. Can I put a supercharger on it? Of course, you can do whatever you want. I wouldn't advise it unless you're going to rebuild the engine too. A supercharger does one thing. It rams air into the engine. And by ramming extra air into the engine, you get more horsepower. But ramming more air into the engine is the same thing as increasing the compression ratio of the engine. So if you have a stock, worn car like that, that's what? 17 years old, and you're increasing the compression ratio of the engine's going to wear out faster. I mean, you can do it. It's totally doable, but you're going to wear the engine out a lot faster doing something like that. Guys that do it, generally, they'll rebuild the engine first. Then they'll put a supercharger. Or, if you don't care, put the supercharger, and then when it blows up, then rebuild the engine. Kyle Priest says, what's your opinion on a Toyota truck? Well, for the money, they probably make the best trucks in the world. Little ones, big ones, just depends on what kind of a truck you want. If you're going to do a lot of heavy towing, a lot of heavy hauling, I wouldn't buy a Toyota truck. I'd buy a Ford diesel truck, because diesels are made for towing big, heavy stuff all the time, carrying a lot of weight. But if you want a good truck that's going to last a long time, and you're not carrying tons and tons and tons of stuff, you could either get a Tacoma or you could get a Tundra if you want something that's bigger. Now, you're going to pay a lot more for one because they're really well made, but as the saying says, you get what you pay for if you use your noggin. Sometimes you'll get ripped off, but if you use your noggin, you're going to get what you pay for. Rumblebee Games/News says, Scotty, are the older Ram trucks with the straight 6 Cummins 5.9 engines any good? Trucks before 1998.5, what I'm looking to get. Well, actually, they can be. That was long before Fiat bought them. Those Cummins engines were great engines. Chrysler didn't make them. Cummins did. I've had customers of them that love those trucks. They lasted a long time. That said, you're talking about an old one. Hey, if it's 20 years old, you still want to get a guy like me to check it out before you buy it, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong with diesel vehicles that you need a guy with a dealer-level scan tool to road test, to do a few compression tests on the engine, to tell you, is the engine still good, is the transmission good, and what kind of shape it's in. You just want to go buy one sight unseen and then just plucked on your money. You want it checked out, because a lot of things can wear out when they're that old, of course. Teddy says, Scotty, I have a 1.4 turbo 2014 Chevy Cruze manual, 46,000 miles. Should I trade and get something new because the Chevy's reliable, or is it reliable now? Well, you only got 46,000 miles, and you were smart. You got a standard transmission. Those had the worst automatic transmission Chevy ever put out. I got a customer who's on his 3rd one already, and he got them under warranty. But he says as soon as it's out of warranty, and it goes out again, he's just going to get rid of the car. But you got it. You might as well drive it around, because its resale value is nothing. And you never know. You don't have that many miles on it. It's a standard transmission. It might last a really long time. What the heck?
So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.